inside another dimension, face battling barbarians and evil magic on a quest for adventure in a maze of monsters. Once you get into it, you'll never be the same. Hero Quest. Now, with 2 new adventure packs, the legend grows.
Hi, welcome back to Not Your Mother's Hobbies. Today we're doing our first frozen horror monster miniature, the Ice Gremlin. Look at this little guy. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. He's so kind of mischievous, kind of snarky, kind of lovable scamp. I really like what they did with the resculpt. Looking really cool. So let's get into it. Let's paint him up. First things first, we're using Frostheart here for the ice. This might seem familiar if you've done the frozen doors. All the ice is going to be done in this color, and something else later on you'll see. We'll go back to this color. So that's his little icicles on his hat. Don't forget, they're ice spikes, not just little metal spikes. But hey, you can paint him up however you want. Space Wolves Gray is going to be for his tunic. In the artwork, it's kind of an off blue, off gray blue. Maybe a little more saturated, but this is what I had, and this is what I liked. I thought it would go well contrasting his very blue skin. A little punch of color here of a different kind. We got Blood Angel's Red on this little armband, little wraparound he's got, a little handkerchief. Maybe it's a keepsake. Gorgrunt of Fur is going to be all the leather, and he's only got one little strappy that is holding on his shoulder pad. He's got a couple little dots here and there that you could put as like a belt peeking through, and I did that. Just use your imagination there. And then we've got his little booties. You could do his booties as the same gray as his tunic, but I chose to do them this brown. Pilar Glacier, I'm starting to put this all over the face and realizing real quick that it was a mistake. My original idea for the skin was to be using this color and kind of going with a light blue. But Pilar Glacier is just a little too light and wasn't working out for me. So I switched it up later. But we're also going to use this Pilar Glacier. Don't put it away. We're going to use this for the fur trim. I thought it would make a really nice kind of cool blue fur trim all around. Kind of make his fur trim a little different, a little more snowy, maybe a little more Christmassy. And then here you can see I'm going back with the Frostheart and deciding, you know what, screw it. Let's just do Frostheart all over. So when you're doing your Frostheart, if you're doing this the same way, or whatever speed paint equivalent, put it all over the skin too. Just save yourself some time. And on the upturned little skin hide part, we're doing that as a skeleton horde. And in a surprise, we're doing gunmetal down first without anything else. Put that down on the shoulder pad. Our layering is kicking off here with Wraithbone. And remember, if you make any mistakes, use an off-white or a white or whatever you got. In my case, I always tend to use Wraithbone. Just remember, touch up as you go. We're using this here to fill in his mouth and sort of touch that up. Mouth and ears. I'm doing Guilliman flesh here, inside the mouth, inside the ears. I totally forgot that little medallion on his belt, so I did that too. Then we got Retributor armor. This is going on all the gold bits. It is a gold, so it's going on all the golds. So his earrings and that little belt medallion down there, we're doing that. And then Reichland Flesh Shade Gloss, putting that over top as well. Just to get that all rosy gold. And you can see here I'm doing a little touch up, a little too much Reichland Flesh Shade Gloss, touching that up with our Retributor. Back again. Gray Seer. I'm using this as a highlight. I'm not going crazy on it. I'm just sort of like doing striations, just little slashes around. That's one, going to help you get some texture, and two, going to make us a cool highlight on this guy. I really like how his tunic turns out. I think the combination of Space Wolves and the Gray Seer really works well. Wraithbone once more, because I totally forgot. He's got these little, what are they called? Little teeth around his neck, as well as teeth in his mouth. So you can try to dot in those teeth in his mouth as best you can. Take your time. Try and try again if you make mistakes. And then we can also use that on the hide upturned part for some detail. Ooh, something not Citadel here. We've got Blue 1 from War Colors, and we're using that as our skin highlight. Blue 1 really works great over top of this Frostheart. Way better than a Talisar Blue. You can go straight to this color and do your highlights and midtones with it, because War Colors has pretty good coverage They're pretty thin already, even though their consistency is thick, they apply very thin. So I highly recommend Watercolors as a starting paint. They're pretty cheap too. Here we're using Cadian Flesh Tone for the tongue, just to get some peachy color on there. Frost Heart going over top of the metallic we put on there to tint it. You could thin this down if you want to see a little more of that metallic more. I didn't do that. For me, the gunmetal base layer was more of a just in case kind of thing. And then we add gunmetal on top. You know what time it is. It's time to bling this boy up. We're doing chrome. We're hitting him with chrome. Chrome on all the gold, baby. And chrome on his little lonely shoulder pad. There is not a lot of metallics on this guy, so not a lot to do. Bold titanium white, this is fun. We're using this for all of the fur trim. So go around and add in all those little spippy spoppy spots all around the fur trim, all over the place. His booties, his wrists, his hat, his beard. We're also going to use it on his little ice pieces. Just try to follow the most raised edge. This is kind of an edge highlighting, but I'm doing it sloppy here because it's ice. It can have cracks and cricks and creaks in it. So if you're doing the edge highlighting on this little ice dagger, whatever, like I am, you can be messy. You can be sloppy. You know, it's a really good intro, I think, doing ice to edge highlighting, because if you do it really precise, looks really cool. If you do it messy, you don't have to worry about it. It can be cracks in your ice. So that's a little pro tip there. You could also just dry brush it. That's another thing. I didn't dry brush it, but you totally could. And don't forget his little hat ones. He's got little icy bits on his hats. And these little tiny, lots of little on this guy. He's a small boy. But we're going to do these little strings on his tunic and then base it as usual. You could even put little snow pieces on there too if you want. I just did my normal thing. And there you have it. You should have a gremlin, Ice Gremlin, all finished up. You can see I did some little eyes in there too. I don't usually do that, but he had some pretty big eyes, so I felt it would look pretty good, and I think it did. Really like how this guy came out. Really like overjoyed with how the different blues work together. The skin looks different from the ice, even though it's the same color. The tunic looks different from the skin, etc., etc. Here you can even go a little Christmassy for your alternates and have kind of a Santa Claus guy. I mean, it's perfect. We're coming into December now, so happy ho ho, hey hey hey. I really liked how he came out. But honestly, the original tunic is probably my favorite. You can see here I didn't bother cleaning up any of the mold lines. I don't usually, if I'm going to be honest, unless it's like a really bad, and honestly this one I probably could have. I don't do it. It's board games. They're toys. They're meant to be played with. If it's a model kit, that's when I do it 100% of the time. So if you liked the video, let me know with a thumbs up. Let me know how it's going in the comments down below. What you're painting, what's going on. Hit all the bloops, bleeps, blops, and bells. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Twitch for games. Bye-bye.